building onboarding and training systems for my clients, one of the big phrases I hear all the time is quality over quantity. It sounds right, sounds wise, sounds disciplined. However, in practice, we very rarely ever see it. What ends up usually happening is that you have a flood of information that overwhelms people, or you have well-polished, very detailed information and systems, but don't really answer the right questions or don't really direct new employees to what success and what right looks like. See, the problem is not quantity versus quality. The problem is people are missing and forgetting there's a third and first step that goes with this, which is clarity and structure. Once you can fix the step and implement clarity and structure first, the rest of the things kind of work themselves out. So in this video, we're going to be going over the pros and cons of quantity and quality and understanding clarity and structure, how that comes first and how the rest of them fall into line. And in doing this, you're going to see huge benefits in your time back, your manager's times back, the retention of information from your employees and the employees themselves, and just a lot of other added on benefits as well. So let's go ahead and break this down. In today's video, talking about quantity versus quality is actually structure and clarity, then quality, then quantity. Before we get started, my name is Carter Doyle. I served in the military for 12 years as an Army infantry officer, got out, started, grew, and sold my own company, and now I help businesses just like yours improve their training systems to see bigger margins faster. If that's something you're interested in, check out the link in the description down below. We'd love to help you out. Now let's get into the video. First, let's talk about quantity. Quantity can end up looking like massive manuals, endless videos, PowerPoints that just keep going. PDFs and whole folders of PDFs of materials and every edge case described and everything kind of spelled out to the fullest. And some of this is actually really good because then you're capturing, institutional knowledge. You've answered every question. You're not depending on one person. You can point someone to a folder or to a location to get any material that's out there that could be needed or information that could be needed. There's a product for it. And there are real actual advantages of having this. And on paper, nothing's missing, so it feels safe. Here's the problem. New hires don't need everything. They need the right things to be able to do their job correctly. When you overload them with too much information, they end up skimming, forgetting, or just kind of ignoring it because it's just too much and they'll figure it out as they go. This isn't really what you want. You want them to be able to understand the job, and you've done a good job of creating all this information, and so you're hoping they just take it in and start studying it or learning it. However, let's be a little more realistic and talk through how this is actually going to overwhelm them, and at some point 10 more slides and just one more video is not going to get them to actually go through the material. This is going to lead to a lot of retraining, a lot of mental fatigue, a lot of frustration, and a lot of just confusion because they're not really sure the right priorities of the videos to watch. If it's 30 videos and each one's 20 minutes, that's a good chunk of time. And so unless they're a truly dedicated employee or you've sat them down and they have to watch it, things are just going to get missed, and they're not really going to understand the order or the priorities or the importance of which videos to watch first, or which parts of the videos to emphasize, and which sections of that video are just kind of edge cases or, the outliers, or just kind of understanding like the deep lore, if you will, of a certain topic. Again, this is going to lead to a lot of retraining, a lot of misinformation, and a lot of your time and margins being eaten up from the retraining or potentially letting them go and bringing someone else on. So overwhelming them is actually super detrimental because you might feel safe in explaining everything in very detailed manners, but if they're not getting it, if they're not retaining it, or if they're not understanding the correct things that they should grasp to do the job right then, it's just going to lead to more and more retraining. It's going to lead to more frustration and more of your margins getting thinner and thinner. A good way to think about it is too much of everything is still nothing that matters. Now let's talk about quality. Quality training looks good. It presents well. It's going to be better and tighter SOPs. It's going to be well thought out and well delivered manuals. It's going to be slides and maybe even some training videos themselves that are shot and directed and filmed well. Those are going to be good, and those are very well presented. And this is where serious operators and business owners want to live. And it has real benefits as well. It presents well. It makes you, the leadership, have to think through what they want to teach, what to emphasize, where to put the priorities, and it's a thinner, slimmer, more trimmed down version to be able to direct people to the exact information they need. It's also easier to maintain over time because quality improves delivery. But quality fails when clarity is missing. You can have beautiful materials that are still useless. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's use a maid service, so a residential cleaning kind of business. And let's say you have a great SOP with videos and slideshows on how to clean every aspect of the house. But let's use the kitchen, for example. And let's say all the materials are very tight, they're lean, they're high quality. However, if the new employees you're bringing on don't know that, let's say that the kitchens are the priority of the house and they should receive the bulk of the attention, maybe they're cleaned first so that you get the bulk of it, or maybe cleaned at the end, whatever your company setup is. But if that information isn't packaged within your high quality product, then I'm not saying it's useless, but it's not pointing them in the right direction. So you see, clarity and quality are not the same. Quality does not equal clarity. Quality improves delivery, but clarity determines the direction. So what is clarity? Clarity is hierarchy of training. And here's what it answers. It answers the non-negotiables, the order of events, and the most important aspects of your job itself. So let's take the example again of the maid service, and let's go with the aspect of quantity. Quantity would look like, here's just every single bit of information you would need to know. Here's a 40-page SOP. Here's every document on the chemicals you're going to be using. Here's equipment troubleshooting guides, interaction with with the homeowner scripts. This is a lot of information. It's going to capture every single thing there is, but it doesn't direct them as far as what the order of things should be, what the importance are, what the non-negotiables are, what they're going to be inspected on, and what the homeowner itself or the client or whoever it is going to be looking for the most. Now let's look at quality. Quality would look like a very good and detailed SOP, great checklists, all the chemical, labeling is correct and spot on and clean and professional, but it's again not going to be addressing the order in which things should be conducted, the priorities, what right and good looks like. Now let's apply clarity and structure. Clarity and structure starts with the outcome. So let's use again the example of the maid service. That's going to be the building must look clean, smell neutral, and pass inspections. Then you define the top priorities, whatever 80 to 90% of whatever drives success. For example, restrooms are spotless, kitchen is grease-free, trash is taken out, these kinds of things. Then you're going to define what right looks like. So within the restroom, no smudges, no smells. Within the kitchen, dishes have been cleaned, the countertops have been disinfected, all high-touch surfaces have been disinfected. Then you're going to identify common mistakes. This is going to be missing corners, using too much chemicals, streaky floors. Now the new hire has clarity. Now they know what matters most, what good looks like, commonly missed things, and the things that are going to be inspected by their manager or the owner of the house in this example. And once that clarity exists, then you can start determining how much documentation is needed to aid with implementing and reinforcing those things that we've just laid out, and then how polished those products can be. See, we're going clarity, quality, quantity. Clarity prioritizes everything, gives it a hierarchy. Quality then can be emphasized and put into those things to put them in the right order. And then quantity with quality, emphasizing the clarity and hierarchy of the structure of training. So if you want to improve your onboarding, here's a simple way of thinking about it. Define your outcome, prioritize the work, make standards for those priorities, then create visual representations of what done looks like so that they're visible and concrete. And keep edge cases for a later time. Right now, we're just working on the 80 to 90% of what correct and done looks like. And again, we're going to go in that order. And then you can start working on the quality of those products. And as needed, as you keep going on, you can start adding quantity to the quality work within that framework of the clarity structure hierarchy. You can have more training, you can have better training, but if you don't lead with clarity, you're still going to be burning time, retraining constantly, frustrating employees, and shrinking your margins. So again, we're going to lead with clarity, then add quality, and expand with quantity where is appropriate. And this is going to get you into building it into a system and out of a corrective cycle. And this is really going to help you, again, get to working on your business and out of working in your business. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If this has been helpful, please leave a like, share with your friends. Feel free to subscribe. Really do appreciate it. Leave me a comment if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, or if you've been able to implement this let me know some of your success stories. I'd really like to know. So thanks again for watching. Be good. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.